Hello, welcome to the live stream. It looks like Aaron's folks joined. Welcome. Good to see some of you come over from Aaron's stream. David can't join today because there's a live stream of Gondoliers by NY Gasp. I'm not entirely sure. I know what all of those words mean together, but you will be missed. I understand that part. I don't know what Gondoliers by NY Gasp are. Welcome. I do admit this is 2 weeks in a row of planner live stream content, which I don't normally try to do. I normally try to have at least a kind of budgeting-y topic today. But frankly, I got a lot going on, and I needed to make some time for live streaming. So yeah, this is my planner down here, and I need to be making some time for planning. So Newbold One says liking the hair pearls. Thanks. Yeah, I know it's like a lot. I got these extremely pearly earrings and extremely pearly headband. This is partially because I let my hair just dry naturally last night, and because of that, it's in kind of a funny shape this morning, so it needed a headband. Greetings from Modernism Week in Rancho Mirage, California. Interesting. What is Modernism Week? Is this about art? Is this about interior design? Is this just your own personal quest to find modernism? Fuzzbubble says, planning is good. I'm glad you still made time for the stream. Frankly, I'm kind of on the fence about, so as some people know, if you were here last week, or maybe if you follow my journal on the Oh My Dollar forums, shout out to the forums. But some people know I am about to start a job as a NPR, at my local NPR affiliate station, Oregon Public Broadcasting. I'm about to start a job as a audio journalist and host. And I have more strict moonlighting and conflict of interest rules. So I am allowed to keep doing these live streams, but I may actually be shifting to doing more planning live streams simply because it's pretty clearly different from my job. Whereas when I'm doing sort of the more in-depth sort of journalism stuff, then it starts to tend into the category of me doing something that is similar to what I'm doing at my job. You know, I got to work it out with my new bosses. I have 2 bosses at my new job, and just sort of negotiating that. I did get permission to keep doing these live streams. There's only a few things that I have to give up overall. I'm not allowed to keep doing my podcast, for example, the audio podcast, because that's very clearly moonlighting me acting as a radio host with my voice in different content. So yeah. Kenneth says, congrats. Please keep us posted on your broadcast schedule. Well, my broadcast schedule, I probably won't be on the air until April, I would say, because the first month is training, which is actually what we are going to talk about, because my training means I'm going to be following all of the news magazine shows, which means I'm going to have a wild schedule for March. Part of that is that I have a pre-planned trip to Japan that I was allowed to take off. So it is kind of hilarious to go on a 10-day trip 3 weeks into a new job. But they were very kind and let me take that off. So it was already booked. The hotel, the flights and everything. I didn't have to go, but I was really grateful that was a thing I was able to negotiate for. But covering all of the news magazine shows on NPR means that, you work weird hours when you work in broadcast media. So I will be working, I will be starting at 4:30 a.m. To follow Morning Edition on one of the weeks. And then the next week, I will be starting at noon in order to staff All Things Considered. I won't be really staffing. I'll be following And then my final schedule that I will be arriving on is that Monday and Tuesdays will be my days off. That'll be my weekend. And I'm the host of Weekend Edition. So I will be working, I will be starting my shift at 4:30 in the morning on Saturday and Sundays, which for some people is not a very desirable schedule. I've had lots of jobs, including as a morning radio host, where I'm used to the early morning schedule, although I will say it is a smidge earlier. I used to start on air at 6 a.m. This is starting on air at 5 a.m. And it also, it being the weekends, it means I won't be going out on Friday and Saturday nights that much, but did I do that anyway? So, but yeah, I pretty much am my sleep schedule is going to be a mess for the first month. I was actively seeking recommendations on how to make sure that I could fall asleep at like 7:30 p.m. for my 3:30 a.m. wake up time. Because I also have, that's the other thing. There's a 45-minute commute for me by bike. So, but it is 40-ish minutes, 45 minutes. So I've got that going on as well. It's not terrible, but it isn't the lightest commute. So yeah, and then in addition to that, I have a 17-hour time change for 10 days at the end of the month. So I just spent a bunch of money on like sleepy teas. And I have been trying to make myself do like sleep yoga every night, like just stretching that is meant to get you in the mood. I have not actually been faking my 7:30 p.m. bedtime because it's just too early to do if I don't have a good reason for it. But yeah. Carl says, good luck with the new journalist undertaking. Thanks. I mean, I've considered myself a journalist all along, but, I was hosting radio before, but I'm very excited to be doing it in a much bigger organization, much bigger newsroom, bigger station with a lot more resources. It's going to be a learning curve working. I haven't worked in a institution this large, and it isn't even to say that the place I'm going to be working is like massive. But it's a lot bigger than anywhere I've worked. I usually work at really small companies, like, less than 20 people, often less than 3. So yeah, it's going to be a big thing. Besodden with Cotton. What a excellent username. I'm not sad about more planning live streams. Here's the thing. Like, I take a lot of pride in delivering financial and economic content. And I also feel like it's a thing that I have, particular skills in. I am able to explain these things. I think I'm pretty good at explaining like complex things about macroeconomics and trade rates, I hope, and things that affect people as far as personal finance and tax changes. But planning, I'm not going to say I'm particularly skilled, or I definitely am not like a beautiful artistic planner. I don't even think I'm particularly great at like just filling in my planner. But that being said, my pride and ego aside, you know what gets views for me? Planning. So Eric says, I think the 7:30 p.m. bedtime in June is going to be a challenge. Yeah, I mean, even having to go to bed at 8:30, which is what I used to have to do in the summer here in Portland, where the sun is up till 10, sometimes 10:30, it's still light outside. I've had blackout curtains for years. I need the blackout curtains. They're very important. Frankly, I need blackout curtains where I currently live anyway, because if you can't tell from the street noise in the background, we live very urban. And because of that, I get there's lights from the windows, fluorescent from the businesses around us, and there's street noise and street racing and everything. So the blackout curtains are necessary even in the dark times. So Besotted with Cotton says, your economic content, 1, literally got me through 2020, and 2, is the first I've ever understood these concepts, so I hear you. I'm just so glad we get to hang with you every week. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. So I will keep doing weekly, because I think the weekly schedule is, like, important for me, and the day of the week is going to change, but it will stay the same for March, which was not what I said last week, but I got more information on my training schedule, and I'm going to continue to have weekends off because I'm going to be like flip-flopping, covering these other shows for training. So I'm going to keep up the Sunday live streams through March. I'm going to be in Japan for, I believe, 2 of them. And then we're going to probably switch to Tuesday nights. I'm going to try to do a good job of like actually updating my channel content and everything. I will say, I found out that there's like a group of people who live stream on Twitch, like in like a pod of like, I think they're called teams on Twitch of like planner and like fountain pen content. And I was like, should I switch to Twitch? I don't know. I've been here for a long time. I've been doing this on YouTube for a long time. I'm still not very confident on Twitch, so I just was like, oh, there's actually like other people in a streaming community. Maybe I just need to be better at making friends with planning people on the internet. Agree, Eric. Got to get some blackout curtains. Yeah, the blackout curtains are very, very important. Besotted with Cotton says, I can make a 7 p.m. bedtime work after a couple of days of getting up at 4 a.m., but it's so hard to get back to it, even after one more day of a typical sleep schedule. Yeah, I'm going to be flip-flop back and forth because I will be in the office from 8 to 4 or 8 to 5-ish on Wednesday through Fridays, so that I can overlap with like the teams from all the different news magazines and do, QAs with reporters for pre-records like at normal hours, because reporters that don't have to are like not going to wake up to do a live QA with me at like 5 a.m. on a Saturday. Why would they do that? So yeah, I am going to be flip-flopped. I was really hoping that I could actually kind of stick with a slightly earlier schedule and skate before work, but I have not yet figured out how I can make that work with the ice time and the transit schedule. I think I talked about this last week. Anyway, should we dive into the actual planning, you all? Oh, I haven't introduced the donut either. All right, well, here's the donut for you. This donut is wild. I figured we would do a fancy donut right before I start my new job this week. It is a matcha raspberry donut. It also has some sort of like special donut-y name. I don't know, but it's got a lot going on. There's like matcha cream. I have a feeling this might be one of the ones that isn't that easy to eat, but yes, it does look amazing. I hope it's amazing. So we're going to eat that halfway through. Less amazing here is my planner page. So I thought, oh, I've got a fountain pen. I should get better at lettering. Look how ratchet these look. I am just not skilled in this area. So, we'll come back to that. But I think I should fill out the month of March first. So I think we're going to do, I'm better at these kind of letters, definitely, for sure. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to like put my work schedule into here. I did put the day offs here. And then the good news is that I actually have like an entire day off to like pack before I start working. I did these lines last week and then it found out that I have a totally different work schedule, but we're just going to roll with them. So, I think we should start with figuring out how to mark my work schedules in here, because my work schedule is like flip-flopping every week. I'm going to have damn no circadian rhythm. So I think what I want to do, I've got this pink one. I'm going to like kind of go with a Sakura theme on this. I'm going to color my early morning days in pink. I think that's my plan. But yeah, Wednesday, March 1st is my first day at this new job. I also, last week I was asking like, what are the things I should do before I start like a new job with a weird schedule? And I was asking for advice, and then we had a massive snowstorm here in Portland, like unexpected snowstorm. Maybe I shouldn't have truly colored all of these in, but it's too late now. It was unexpected. We got 11 inches of snow. It was the second most snow on record ever in Portland. And it happened midday on Wednesday. And the predictions were like, oh, I don't know, maybe like less than an inch of accumulation. Like I went out to the rink in the morning and none of us were talking about the snow. And normally Portland freaks out when there's a snow prediction. But because of that, people were stuck in traffic for like 12 hours getting home because it was coming fast and it was absolutely not predicted. And the transit agencies, the highway administration, the local transit agencies, literally none of them were prepared for what went down. So, yep. Okay, what color should I color in my trip? I think I'll do like a teal color for the ones where I'm working the evening shift. So I've got that, well, I guess it's like more like an afternoon swing shift. And I know what times I'll be like working with people when they're on air, but I'm not actually sure how early I'll need to get into the station because I will be able to work from home on my office non-on air days. But this month I'm pretty much going in, which just because it'll give me more of an opportunity to like meet people and everything. So I'm kind of nervous because I did not finish all of the things I said I was going to get done before I start this job, and I know it'll just get a lot harder to do like, oh my dollar stuff. One of the things was that on Wednesday, because of the like weird unexpected snowstorm, I was doing one of the pay it forward workshops that I do. So we do this, I do this, like I work with a bunch of different youth shelters and foster youth agencies, and I work with them on teaching financial literacy training. And every year I do like a kind of taxes 101 workshop because a lot of these youth have never filed taxes before. And last year it was especially important because it was, if you were a foster youth or a former foster youth, you qualified for a bunch of stuff last year. What are we thinking? Donuts, little animals, kawaii donuts. I'm working through some different options here. Should I just do like flowers? What do we think? This is like the seasons. I don't feel like that's that appropriate. This one is donuts. This one is like cute animals. It's from Too Much Coffee. I think this one is from Daiso, and it's like more chill donuts. Sorry. Good thing I'm not in a room with someone else. Kawaii donuts. Okay, everybody's voting for the kawaii donuts here. Y'all are great. Okay. So we'll put these at the very bottom of the page. Where is my... Oh yeah, I switched this into a new cover, which isn't new to me. I've had this cover for quite a long time. But this cover I thought would be good for a new office job where I'm going to be taking a lot of like notes the first weeks because it fits my planner in here. And it's from Kyoko. Kyoko, is that how you pronounce it? So I have my take a note planner in here, and then it's got like pockets on the front and everything. And then what's cool is it's got this notebook that can like flop out. So you can put the notebook over it and like write it. You can entirely turn this around and like work on it here. You can also like open the notebook like this and write on it like this. Anyway, it's a super cool system, and I thought it would be good. It is a little stacked for me because of how much I put in how many like stickers and stuff that I put in here. And it isn't really actually designed for this take a note planner, but Still working though. I think it's gonna be good, and then I'm gonna use this notebook, which I got with this, and I haven't been using it. Planner and notebook in one cover is cool. It is a really cool design. Okay, we're gonna go back to this. Now, should I do like maybe a couple more like kawaii donuts up there? Yes. Yes, I should. It's very like Japanese, I feel like kawaii kind of inspired too, which is appropriate considering that I'm going to be in Japan for half the month. Okay. Now, here's the things that I didn't get done yet this month with 2 days left. So I'm going to write, I'm just going to write morning edition. And then I'm going to write all things considered. I just realized I will not be able to live stream on this day because, so the 19th I'm going to have to be off. I'll either have to do it on a different day because I'm flying out on a Sunday. So I guess maybe I'll take it off, or yeah. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. So then I'll do my live stream from Yokohama there, but then I'll do it at a different time, which is fine, frankly, because you know, it's like it's going to be it's going to be really not a great time. I think it's going to be like 4 a.m. or something for me in Tokyo. So I'm okay with doing it at a different time. So yeah, we'll take that off. Okay, is this blue? No, I should pull from these colors. What is a good vacation color? I guess a purple? Do I own a purple one? This is blue. This doesn't look like it matches. It kind of does. That's really dark, though. This blue one. Ooh, here we go. This is pretty close. And it's much more subtle. Rather than a mild liner, it's a Frixon. Okay, so. Oh, the only downside is that these really seem to do a great job of blurring. Oh, I like this. This is much more subtle, though. Aaron is wondering if we should stream from the SFO airport on the 19th. That would be kind of funny. I get lounge access at the SFO airport. So we might actually be able to set up decently. Also, you can join me in the lounge, right? Even though you're not business class. I'm flying business class and Aaron is not flying business class to Japan, which is, I feel still bad about, but there just wasn't any more award tickets available. There was only like one, but I'm keeping an eye on it, because Aaron's, oh, I didn't fill in my entire trip. I don't know why I did that. So Yeah, I'm keeping an eye though, because sometimes award availability like opens a couple weeks out. Erin doesn't seem that concerned, but I feel bad. But I'll let Erin share a little bit. She's flying business class on points I gave her. To be fair, you have way too many points, and your work is paying for your flight, so it's not like, you know. But yes, it is true. SFO would be a good spot. Just camp out and hook up everything. I will say that I have tried from SFO to... I have tried from SFO to... No, it was from LAX. Last time I was on the way to Japan, actually. I tried very, very, very hard to upload a YouTube video. And it wasn't even live streaming. I was just trying to upload a video, and I could not get it to upload. So, okay. There we go. There's my work schedule. Now, let's see if there's anything else I need to put in here. I've got skating class on Monday, but that's fine. So I should be able to go to skating class on this day as a makeup for the one I'm going to miss this week. Okay. I'm going to get very little skating this month done. I'm calling it now in March. It's just not going to happen. SFO is San Francisco. Correct. Yes, it is. New World One says, I listen to quite a bit of NPR, so excited to hear those programs. Lily live from the air. I'm always blown away by your planner skill. I was never able to use mine, even the ones I was given in school. Interesting. I would not describe my planner use as a skill, but I appreciate the perspective that maybe it is. It does help that it's kind of like I make it an assignment. Okay. So I think we'll do life stuff first instead of work stuff, because I don't know how much of my my new job is going to be in the monthly overview, since like my main goal is just like get used to the job. I'm supposed to start pitching by this, like at least temporarily pitching by this meeting. So Wednesdays are the pitch meetings, the editorial meetings for the news magazines. So that's my boss's goal, is like this first pitch meeting on Wednesday, I'm not even going to see because I'm doing my orientation like with HR. And then this one, she's hoping that I pitch. And then this one, or she's hoping that she knows I won't pitch because it's like my first meeting, and then I'll pitch there. So that's like really I think my only goal is like learn the job. I have a bunch of documents on like guidelines for like getting used to this. So yeah, anyway, life stuff is kind of the most importance, I think. I'm not going to use my fountain pen so it blurs less. I feel like otherwise it might blur less. Oh no, I didn't break the stream, did I? I just hit a button that I don't know what it did. Let me know if I'm not online anymore. It looks like I'm still online. Okay. So life stuff. Okay, taxes. I need to finish taxes. I'm just gonna say PM routine as like a goal because I'm trying to work on that this month. I'm gonna follow up about synchro. I followed up, but I'm still trying to find out. Frankly, so synchro is synchro skating. There is a team that's forming, and I really want to join it. But with my like work schedule all over the place, I'm kind of happy that they've been a little slow for figuring out when the practices are. Okay, follow up synchro. What other things do I have? Oh yeah. pick out wallpaper. I need to pick up my wallpaper like ASAP for my office. And then I need to back up all of my external hard drives are supposed to back up when I plug them in, but I haven't been plugging them in, so I need to put this on my list because I'm getting yelled at by my backup software. I don't think there's anything else that's like incredibly important life stuff. Like taxes is a lot of energy. And we booked the hotel. Oh, I'm also going to say book tour because we're going to do a tour at least one of these days and then maybe book spa. I have been watching way too many of the ASMR videos of like getting Japanese spa treatments, and quite a few of them have said that oh yeah, I'm gonna do Pimsleur. So quite a few of them have said that it's okay if you don't speak very good Japanese. Like if you speak English, like they're willing to take English clients. And so now I kind of like it's not normally a thing I would do, but I'm kind of tempted to like go get a head spa treatment while I'm in Japan, which I've been absolutely influenced, but you know, whatever. It's fine. Okay, now I need to do like content stuff, so I'll do this. I'm going to put oh my dollar and I'm just going to call this oh my dollar and house files, which is kind of a lot, but so record one more house files. I think we need one more to like prep for them. Oh yeah, did you see these adorable little house file stickers that Aaron got? Which is great. They're there for when we publish an episode. They're very cute. Aaron made those on our sticker printer. Okay. I'm gonna just do house files times 4 for publishing them. Moderators up. Okay. Live stream. I'm gonna say live stream times 1, 2, 3 instead of 4, and then if I do an extra one, that's great. Promo new live. All of my other tax workshops are like, I'm doing this one Tuesday because it got canceled. Patreon mailing should go out before then, but I'll just write that in case. Okay, I think that's good. Anything else I need to mark on the monthly calendar? There is this day there is a social skate, but I can't do it. So anything else? Skating classes. Oh, I should probably write my evening classes in here. Probably gonna make up this one or this one on this because I have to be up at 4:30 the next day. And these ones are gonna be like on the next day. And this is health insurance deadline. And I think that's it. I mean, it feels like not that much, but it's really a lot because of the new one. Need to work on my nighttime routine too. Apparently, staying noodling on your phone till midnight isn't great for getting sleep. Yeah. Yeah. Common issue, I feel like. Um, ugh, taxes. I agree. We need to make a plan for recording all the episodes to queue up the Japan weeks. Yeah, I also think it might be kind of fun. I don't know if we're going to have time, but I would love to do like an episode from Japan because I'm trying to figure out if we can like shop in any of the like home goods stores or something, or like look at one of the cat catalogs, the designing your house for your cat catalogs. All right, I think this is pretty much it. All right, time to do the weeklies, and then yeah, look at all the things that got canceled. I ran out of canceled stickers. There's so many things got canceled. Also, look at this. This is not how this is how this was supposed to look. This is not how these look. I am just go to Muji, hands down that best. So here's the thing, I don't have to go to Muji. We have a Muji in Portland. We will definitely go to at least some of the Mujis just to see. Also because the exchange rate is to our advantage actually there. But yeah, I don't really have to worry about it. Okay, so I'm planning on doing all of my meal prepping tomorrow. So I'm going to actually put that in my calendar. I've decided to become the kind of person that's meal prepping again, which was a thing I used to do. And yeah, I'm trying to do it again. So I do have skate class on. I'm switching to my fountain pen just because I want to use my fountain pen. So this is me in a more low-level class than I should be in, just because it was the only one that fit in my schedule. I'm a little bummed because I have all of the, I have all of my friends are in that class, and it actually is like somewhat challenges me. Okay, and then I have a dermatologist appointment. Last one on my insurance. And then I got my first day schedule, so I'm going to pull that up right now. Oh, and then Tuesday, I am teaching the moved tax workshop at the shelter. It's not quite a shelter. It's a homeless youth drop-in shelter. Okay. Okay, so my first day, 8:55 a.m. Get ID, get my little press badge, and then I have an in-person IT setup with Sean. Then 10 to 11 is my orientation. Yasena. Then I have free time till 11:30, and then 11:30 to 12:30 is New Boss. So. And then the editorial meeting is 1:30 to 3. Okay. I've been cooking a lot of Asian food recently, and I need to see which meals I can make ahead for meal prepping purposes. Well, if it's Japanese Asian food, I will say that they've really got the meal prepping situation down with bentos, and you can find a lot of really cool, like, bento solution. I actually, so I have it in here because I mentioned it last week, but I went on, like, a quest to find a lunchbox, and I found this bento box on Amazon. The only concern I have about it is that I'm not sure I can get these lids off without, like, because I don't have very strong hands. So I'm worried about my ability to get these lids off without dropping all of the food all over the place. But it fits in my bottom little, like, insulated pouch in my bike pannier. And then it also fits in this ill-fated Oh My Dollar merch, which was a lunchbox that I got, like, printed as a sample. And I didn't end up liking the print quality very much. And then also I ordered it right at the beginning of COVID. And then it was produced abroad. So I didn't get it until we were way into COVID. And then it didn't make any sense to release a lunchbox as merch. Because who's doing that? So any other kind of, let's see, week. And the cat has an appointment, which I will not be able to attend, but so here we go. And then oops. I didn't wait long enough for my fountain pen ink. Okay. Okay, so first day is marked in there. And then I apparently will have editorial calendar. Like, I'll get an Outlook calendar after I get my IT set up that'll have all of the other onboarding meetings I'm doing. All right, what should we use for this week's like, should there be a washi tape, or is that not serious enough for my first week at a new job? Yeah, screw it. They knew what they were getting. All right. There we go. There's some fun ones on the bottom there. And I think we're probably going to record house files on Saturday. And then I'm going to try to go to PDX Copy Outside. I was going to go yesterday, but the snow. B on B was also canceled. Lots of things were canceled for me. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I don't have any other meetings the rest of the week. Oh, I do have class on Thursday, so keep forgetting about that. That one's up in the hills. I may or may not want to go in there. I need to stop switching pages when I still have stuff on there. All right, there we go. I think that might be it. I'd love to kind of talk a little bit about my budgeting for the trip, but let's eat this donut first. Oh, we have to find a cat sitter. So we said after Tuesday. So we have to find cat sitters for while we're gone. The reason we put it off, even though we knew we were traveling for so long, was because we were dealing with the cat had like a situation with her eye where she had this thing in her eye and she was slowly working to expel it on her own. But if she didn't, then there was a possibility she was going to need surgery. And so we were doing a lot of back and forth on that. But she managed to kick it out herself. But we didn't know what level of care she was going to need from a cat sitter. So we were putting it off because, you know, having to do it twice a day means that you need a lot different of a level of cat sitting. It means it's like almost like dog sitting. With office space empty everywhere, I feel like lunch boxes are not going to sell any longer. Yeah, I think that's one of the concerns. So I got this other one before we switch to the donut, actually. I'll show you the other one I got, which I think I have to return because it's just too big. I really was struggling with like what lunchbox to get. I think that little bento one is good, but this one is glass, and I normally use these like glass meal prep containers, but they don't separate inside. So this one, I think I'm going to return it, but I'm going to take it off so I can show you. It's from Bent Go, and it's like meant for like really big salads and stuff. But the big thing was that like, look how easy it is for me to get those clasps done when I don't have particularly great hands. And then it has like a little sauce pocket in the top. It's very cute. And then you can put your little side dishes there, and then you can put whatever your main dish that you want to like throw in the microwave in that glass, or if it's like a salad. And it's got a fork on the lid. So I was a little tempted of like, maybe I should just keep both of these. I know it's kind of ridiculous to have two lunch boxes, but they seem to be for like distinctly different activities. So yeah, I don't know. It's real heavy though. So, what's wrong with this one? One, it's real heavy. So it's kind of not a good one if I'm going to go somewhere after work. Like this one, once it's empty, it'd be really light. And then the other thing is like, it doesn't even like really, I guess it does fit in this. So it would fit in the insulated pouch, but it's kind of like awkward in it. Like it's just kind of like awkwardly shaped fitting in here. And then the other thing is it doesn't fit in my bottom compartment. So I have like a separate insulated compartment on my bike pannier. And this one is too big for it compared to this one. Cheryl says, does the bento one have the utensils on the lid? It does. So when you open it, it's got little utensils under here. The only thing I will say is that the chopsticks, way too small for me to use. They're like so, and that's like the biggest they can be really to fit inside of this bento. This one only has a fork, so it's a little less useful to me, but it's big enough you could probably just put chopsticks inside where it is. Would that sauce pocket just be filled with hot sauce? Not necessarily. I would just probably keep hot sauce at the office. But I don't know. It's a really cool container. It's just a little too big, I feel like. But maybe both is fine, and then I'll just use them for different situations. All right. I think it's time for the wonderful world of donut time. All right, so here we go. This is the donut for today. It is a raspberry matcha situation. It's really, there's a lot going on here. So many washi tapes, y'all. It's very beautiful. It's got like this like sunset sort of situation happening on the top. It's very decadent. I thought it would be a good like, you know, Sunday live stream before we start the new job situation. I don't know if that's maybe a little unreasonable, but it's so big. Oh my gosh. Look at how fluffy it is. Okay, I'm mostly getting like the granulated sugar. I'm not really getting the raspberry or the matcha flavor yet. I wonder if the matcha is only in this top part. Oh, there's matcha cream on the inside. So it's like a layered. Losing points for how messy it is to eat on camera. Between the powdered sugar and the cream. This is a delicious, earthy matcha flavor. It's very good. I'm still not getting any of the raspberry. Oh, I think there's some raspberry mixed into the matcha. Y'all. Okay, this is like what the cream looks like. This is good. I think we might need a 6 on the scoring system. Eric says, I would give it a 6 even vicariously. It looks like wasabi. It does, but it doesn't taste like wasabi. When do I bite into the raspberry? That's the question. Logistically, how should I bite into the raspberry? I barely tasted that raspberry because there was so much matcha cream around it. That last big bite was like all matcha. This is pretty good. It's very inventive. Logistically, I'm not going to get any points for like how hard it is to eat. I mean, I think you all suspect this is a 5 out of 5. The only thing I'll take the points away for is the raspberry wasn't very strong, but let's say it would be a 6 out of 5 if it was less messy to eat, which is like, you know, fair. You can't always have things be you can't always good things to eat sometimes are messy. But I would also say it's like the raspberry, I felt like it was overpromised and underdelivered. Like you see the raspberry on the top and that like red dusting and you think there's going to be more raspberry flavor in it, but I would say it would predominantly tasted like granulated sugar and matcha. So, I don't know, but it was good though. It was good. Is it going to be messy? The answer is yes. It was good. That was very good. Are you looking for a pro cat sitter or friends? Oh, thank you for asking that. The reason we're waiting until the cat's follow-up appointment on Tuesday is we're waiting to find out, because if the cat needs to get seen twice a day, because she needs eye drops twice a day, they're not actually eye drops, it's like eye cream. She's super chill about getting it, but if she has to get it twice a day, we're probably going to hire a pro and just pay to have someone that is willing to do that. If she only needs it once a day or doesn't need it, which is a possibility now that the thing's out of her eye, then we'll probably go with friends, and like make sure that no one person has to do it for all 10 days. The thing I'm very concerned about is that she has become to expect like 6 hours a day of laps available to her. And she, I think, is going to be very sad with no laps for between like me going into work and not working from home and lack of laps. I think she's going to be a little sad. Okay, but I'd eat a wasabi donut. I will pass that on to the donut place because I'm pretty sure the donut place would make a wasabi donut. They will make weird stuff. I'll have to try mixing a matcha latte with raspberry syrup the next time I work. That sounds good. That was delicious. Should we talk about budgeting for traveling, or are we just done? So the thing for me is that I am still going to be working. I still have like Oh My Dollar freelance stuff through March. Like a lot of stuff is going to be ramping down, but I still have essentially like double income because I'm going to have my new day job on a salary, which is a perfectly fine salary. And then also Oh My Dollar income. And I think I have decided that I just get to like funnel all my Oh My Dollar income into my trip budget for March. I'm just kind of like throwing it off. I do have a travel fund that I save money in, and then I pull it out for the various categories. And I've done a couple live streams. I'll do one like right before I leave that kind of shows you how I do budgeting for different currencies in YNAB, because essentially I plot out how much I'm going to spend on the trip, and then I make a new budget in the new currency, and that's what I use while I'm abroad. So right now I can tell you what I spent in Japan last time. So I'm opening my Japan budget right now, which I'm sure is maybe not the most useful thing for you all because you can't see it. I could, you know what? I could project it for you all if you wanted. So I was in Japan for about the same amount of time last time, and prices have not risen as much in Japan simply because of their currency has been falling vis-a-vis other currencies. It's not really, their fault. Their currency is deflationary vis-a-vis other currencies. So they've been having kind of like a tougher time. So let me share this. Oh, there we go. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so what we can do is we can pull up the month that I was there, and we can kind of look through it. So I was there in March and April 2020. So this is the yen prices. And yen in general, there's like 90 yen to a US dollar. So you can kind of just move the decimal point over, ish, depending on how it goes. So the big thing is that we are only going to 2 cities this time. We're going to Tokyo and Yokohama. So one of the big expenses last time was the Shinkansen train, and we don't have to worry about that, essentially. The big category is going to be shopping. I ended up spending like almost $700 US on shopping last time I was there, and I essentially decided I would spend just the same this time. And that's, for me, it's going to be things like the budgeting for the like all of the stationery I want to buy. I want to go to the Traveler's Factory store. I'm obviously going to go back to Loft and all the like really big stationery stores. And I'm going to just buy a lot of stationery because I get a lot of Japanese stationery even when I'm in the US. Might as well get them in Japan. And then I also am probably going to do some secondhand Lolita shopping, which is something I do from the US, but then I have to spend a lot of money on shipping. And that isn't obviously an opportunity I have in the States to go into a store and look at secondhand Lolita, but there is that, and probably a few gifts. We might get some things from the house. Then lodging, we've pretty much all taken care of already. So last time I mostly stayed on points between Chase points for myself and Erin's hotels.com points. I think we may have used like Amex points in there a little bit too. And that's essentially the same this time. We have used hotels.com points, and then Erin is there for work. So yeah. Oh, the exchange rate is even worse now. Yeah, so for them, I mean, it's great for me, but it's 136.7 yen to the dollar right now. Oh, my dollar is play money, good idea. Yeah, so right now I have in my budget, how much do I have in the travel fund? I mean, obviously I'm going to save for taxes, and then Oh My Dollar has a lot of expenses in itself, so it's only what I take out of Oh My Dollar. I'm going to prioritize, got to pay the hosting, got to pay for things like that. Martin says, just found this channel from watching Erin's shows. Sounds great. Are you guys related? I'm married to Erin, so yes. I mean, but we're not related, but yes, we have a relationship. Yes. Last time I was in Japan, it was 72 to the dollar. I mean, it's really rough for them right now. Except for your trip, are live streams continuing on Sunday morning, or are they moving to Tuesday? So for March, they are going to be continuing on Sunday, except for the one day that I'm in the airport where they might not happen on March 19th. But they will be moving probably to Tuesdays in April. I will do my best to give everybody like a couple weeks notice and actually like change my header and stuff on YouTube. I'll also post them a lot earlier just so people can kind of know and get reminded. If you are kind of curious and want to get reminded about it, you can always subscribe to the text crew, which is textcrew.ohmydollar.com. And that one is that will remind you. So what time Tuesday? I'm not entirely sure. It's probably going to be around 5:30 Pacific, which will be 8 p.m. Eastern. It will be the middle of the night for Europe, which is kind of a bummer. What's been nice about this time is it's worked for Europeans. It's in the evening for Europe, but I could do it in the morning on Tuesdays, but since it's a weekday and most people work during the weekdays, I feel like doing it in the morning won't work as well. I'm still kind of sniffing it out. Their other thing is I don't necessarily want to do it on the morning on Tuesdays because one of the advantages is that I can go skating in the middle of the day on Tuesdays, having my weekends be Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, no worries being out of the loop. Yeah. So this is how much I have in my budget, my travel budget right now, but I haven't paid myself from Oh My Dollar this month yet. So I always do my like payroll and figure out how much I can pay myself and save for taxes. Usually the last day of the month, to make sure everything is accounted for. So right now I have $1,000 in my travel fund. And I think altogether it's going to end up being around a $1,500 or $1,600, travel fund. Essentially, I'm putting $50 a day aside for food, which was a little bit more than I spent last time, but there's a lot more vegetarian-friendly restaurants in Japan. We do have breakfast included at a couple, like one of the hotels that we're staying at, so that will lower the costs overall. Generally, finding vegetarian food in Japan was very challenging last time. It's one of the reasons I am doing Pimsleur to prep this time. I'm not going to become fluent in Japanese, but I might be able to like muddle my way through a conversation a little bit better by food about if I manage to stay on top of my Pimsleur before I go. And then I have all the other tricks that I use. Like I have like pictures of all of the stuff that's vegetarian friendly. I did like actually a video about this, like preparing for a trip when I don't speak the language in 2019 about my trip to Japan. And pretty much I'm using all the same tips. Like I use Google Translate to look at ingredients and stuff like that. I am not a foodie. Like I like to eat food because then it provides me with energy. Other than seeking out vegan donuts, which I did find 2 different vegan donut places, so we should be good. While I'm in, I'm just not that much of a foodie. I'm excited to have the vegan ramen that I really enjoyed last time I was there, and I found some good vegan restaurants. But yeah. So food is the main thing, and then the rest is just going to be shopping. And then we're doing one tour. So we're going to do like a photography tour where we're going to go around and shoot with like a local photographer at night. Just because we're as we're getting older, we're finding that tours are more and more becoming my style. I used to be very much an independent traveler that would like never like pay to get a tour of something, but getting more into it. When we were in New Zealand, we like didn't have time unless we did a tour because there was no way on transit to like visit some of the things we wanted to visit. And we did a tour where they like drove you out there and everything. And it was really nice to just have everything arranged. It wasn't about a language barrier in New Zealand, but it was nice to be able to pack so much in one day with one of those tours. Obviously, you don't really need a driving around tour in Japan, and we are focusing just on the 2 cities that we're in. And Aaron is there for work, so the second half of the time we're there, so I'm going to be more solo and all my own. Tugboat asks, any skating plan for Japan? I'm not bringing my own skates. I tried to get tickets to go to Worlds. So Worlds, like World Figure Skating Championships, is in Japan while we are there. Like right outside of Tokyo in Saitama. I think that's how you say it. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. But it was really hard to get tickets. Very different than the US Figure Skating Championships. Japan has very solid skaters right now on the world stage, thanks to Yuzuru Hanyu, who I think revitalized the sport in a lot of ways in Japan. And because of that, there are a lot of exceptional skaters. And because of that, it was really hard for me to get tickets. It was also very hard to get tickets if you were outside Japan, because they held a bunch for locals. And so I tried to get tickets. I couldn't get tickets. And then the other thing is it's opposite side of Tokyo from Yokohama, which is where we're going to be staying. And it's during the days that Aaron has available. So I didn't really want to abandon Aaron to go watch figure skating. And I don't think Aaron wants to spend $80 and all day watching figure skating. So yeah, Japan does love figure skating. I know. So anyway, I'm a little bummed that I'm not going to get to go watch Worlds, but it just didn't seem like it couldn't work. Cheryl says, I like a tour if I can't get there by public transport. Yeah, I also have gotten more into doing the niche tours. So when I was in Moscow, I did a tour that was all about the metro stations. And I obviously have been going to a bunch of the metro stations because they're very historically known in Moscow. There's a lot going on with the metro stations there. And I did a metro tour where she just led you around, but she would tell you the history of all of the different ones. And that one was very fun. And I also got to meet other train nerds because I was traveling alone. So that part was fun. And I would do that again. Most transit systems do not have tours of their transit system because most transit systems are not the same as Moscow's metro. So I had to book a tour to get a visa and it really changed my mind on them. They're great. In Europe, the free ones in big cities were pretty cool too. Great way to meet some locals too. Yeah, I did we did a free one when we were in Helsinki last year. It was -10 Fahrenheit out that day. So it was very, very cold. And because of that, the tour was very short. It was supposed to be a 90-minute one of those free walking tours where then you tip them at the end. And it was a good way to meet other travelers. But the tour was way shorter because it was very cold to be doing a free walking tour. But yeah. It is a good way to find all the good spots, or at least see, make a decision. I always feel if you go at the beginning of your trip, even if you're an independent traveler, if you do that free walking tour, you'll usually get some, hot tips on like good days to go to certain museums, or you'll get like a good idea if a site is worth visiting or not visiting from either other people or not. I love bus tours. We did one in Ireland last month, and the guy told stories the entire 8 hours, and I loved every second. I will say the guy on our New Zealand tour felt in a need to talk all 12 hours or whatever we were on it, and it was kind of a lot. He also hadn't been tour guiding for like 2+ years because New Zealand had been totally closed. They actually turned their like tour vehicles into delivery vehicles, and he was like, this was not the life for me. I'm in my 60s. I got like bit by a dog. So yeah. Oh, thanks for the reminder that I still have the text crew on the bottom of the screen there. So yeah, anyway, that's how I'm planning on traveling, how I'm planning on budgeting for the travel. I actually spelled it out in my 2023 budget, but I never published that blog post because it was finding out if I was going to get this job or not. And this job obviously is going to change things for my finances because it means that less Oh My Dollar income in as I only focus on doing the volunteer work. So pretty much my only income is going to be for Oh My Dollar is going to be like 2 cents of AdSense and from YouTube, and then my Patreon memberships, which I guess shout out to the Personal Finance Society at ohmydollar.com/support. So those, like the people that support on Patreon, the Personal Finance Society, that is what I'm going to use to pay for hosting and then the expenses related to the workshops that I do, the volunteer workshops I do, but I'm not going to be doing very much freelance work because I'm not allowed to do the freelance work. So Oh My Dollar is really going to be like dialed down and ramped down. There's about $200 to $250 of like kind of carrying costs each month with Oh My Dollar. And I've been working on reducing those, but some of them are software that like I essentially just need to have. But as I've run out of books, those are my last couple books of 2 print runs of Oh My Dollar. It used to be this whole wall over here was filled with books, and now those 4 little teal books right there are the last of my books. And those, because of that, I'm now going to be switching to print on demand because essentially I didn't want to sink like thousands of more dollars into a 3rd print run of the book. So I'm switching to print on demand. The books won't be as pretty anymore. It also means that the books will be a lot more expensive for me to give out because I'm not getting them at as good of a rate, and I like to give them out to all of the youth that I work with. So that's essentially what the Oh My Dollar income is going to pay for. It's just going to pay like the software hosting costs, but I might not have to pay for Shopify soon because I'm not going to be selling these books. So I just kind of have the stickers. The thing is with the Patreon, I might not keep it up forever. It sort of depends. I'm like still, I'm still in the situation of like, I'm not going to be making the audio podcast anymore because I'm not kind of allowed to, but I still like have these expenses from running the forums. And I like, it was very important to me. I negotiated to be able to keep doing all the workshops that I'm doing, the pay it forward workshops, because I just added up the totals for last year, and it was over 200 youth that I served with those workshops last year. And I have been working to make it so, like, you know, one of the things I did last year was try to find someone who spoke Spanish to help with facilitating the workshops in Spanish, because before I was using translators in Spanish and Somali when I was working with youth that is their first language. And yeah, so, and then the other, like, I have quite a few like partners that I've just started working with that I want to keep working with. So I just started working with one of our juvenile detention centers, and that like population, generally all the kids that are in the juvenile detention center, this is like sort of the low res one. So it's sort of like a halfway house for a juvenile detention center. They all have a lot of burden of usually not having good adults in their life for money management. And they already, unfortunately, usually have a lot of things in society stacked against them because they've been in juvenile detention. And some of them have court debts and PO costs to pay when they get out, which I think is bananas to do to like a 16-year-old that gets out, is make them pay back their debt to the court when they've already served time. But anyway, so anyway, they have a lot of financial considerations. It's really important for me to be able to continue doing those. I know I don't necessarily look like someone that is great at working with teenage boys in juvie, but I do think that I manage to get through to them pretty often. So I wouldn't ever wear these earrings to juvie or to any incarceration. So yeah, I want to keep doing that, but and the Patreon does support it. But frankly, I could just pay for it myself, and it might end up being one of the things, it might be one of the things that I just accept as like my charity is paying for the books and everything to make sure that I can get them to youth, because I like having the books and the stickers to give out, because a lot of these kids have never been given like a physical object for free. And a lot of them have a lot of issues with getting, like, if they get an ebook and stuff like that, they're just not going to look at it. They might have infrequent internet. I don't have them formatted so they're super easy to look at on your phone unless you have like the Kindle app. So yeah, anyway, that was a long wandery thing, but such good work. I hope so. I don't think I'm the best voice always to deliver this, but they keep coming back. I have some youth, especially at one of these shelters where I do it, that come year after year. They are required. One of the organizations I work with that works with foster and youth that are transitioning out of shelters, those youth get access to a scholarship fund that they can use to pay for like self-care things that they need, because they get free, Oregon, you get free college if you are coming out of the foster system, but it doesn't pay for any of your living expenses. So there's like a private scholarship fund, and the person that funded it wanted to make sure that they got financial literacy classes when they get money. And normally I hate this idea that low income people, there's a lot of rich people who are out there saying that they find out about what I do and they say, oh, financial literacy is so important. It's so important that like you make sure that like these folks get financial literacy. And I don't on the surface disagree with that. Obviously, I teach financial literacy to low income youth, but the problem that I have is I think a lot of people blame financial illiteracy or lack of financial education as things that are actually caused by other things like lack of money, because a lot of these kids are very, very good at managing money because they've had so little of it. And that isn't to say that there isn't still financial literacy stuff like credit, keeping them away from crypto is a big one. Understanding like, credit, taxes, those kinds of things is things you don't inherently learn, but a lot of the budgeting skills they have. And, I think there's this tendency to say that financial literacy will solve issues that actually could just be solved by fixing society, fixing societal problems, fixing the fact that people don't get enough money. And that is, I think, I don't want to oversimplify, but I think it is important. So yeah. The typical lack of effort, I'm guessing you hear that a lot. I don't actually hear that a lot, luckily, but I think that's because of the people I choose to surround myself with. I don't hear a lot of the lack of effort, but I think that's because I don't listen to it anymore. The folks that I work with were not born in an equal society. None of us were born in an equal society. And financial literacy can help, but it isn't the only solution. They need money. But so that is one of the reasons that I do the financial literacy workshops, is that at least it's because then after they take this, they get scholarship money, and that money they can use there's not that much judgment on what they use the money for. So Fuzzbubble says, I see the Patreon money as a small charity contribution to your pay it forward workshops. Yeah, so that's the thing is that like people can't tax. I mean, I guess it matters less because of the itemization, but because I've been my own LLC, because it costs me way less in taxes because I don't like have to pay payroll taxes and everything, and I don't have to file a separate tax return instead of being a 501c3. Like, Oh My Dollar absolutely could be a 501c3 and I could get a board. It was more complicated when I was putting out the show because then there is intellectual property that I'm making that then is owned by Oh My Dollar, which wouldn't be my own business anymore. Like, I'm not the owner. I've thought about setting it up as a 501c3. I could even umbrella it under a 501c3, and then it would make it a little more streamlined as far as people's contributions. I don't know. I never want people to feel like they have to contribute to the Patreon. And I'm going to keep doing the work that I'm doing as long as I'm allowed to do it at my day job. And so put me down for a book and some bourbon. I'm not selling any more books on the website because like I said, those are the only 4 that I've left. So, Maggie and DeWood says, thanks for the extra stickers. So, yeah. All right. That was a long wandering. Y'all, I got to finish my column for the week. For 2 weeks from now, because my normal deadline is on Friday, but I don't want this hanging over my head my first 3 days of my new job. So I'm still doing the Slate column for the rest of the month. So I have lots to do. I wrote half of it and then my brain wasn't working anymore. So, and it looks like the snow is melted, so I might actually get to maybe go to the rink, possibly. I was trying to go to the rink yesterday as things were melting, and I got 4 blocks, and I turned back around because there was still a lot of, like, icy snow terribleness on the... All right, now go slay all the things now that you've planned them. Well, thank you all for joining me. I will be same time, same place next week, but please tell me suggestions about what you want to talk about next week. I think we could probably talk about taxes. 'Tis tax season now, so we can talk about free ways to do your taxes because there's getting fewer and fewer of those thanks to a bunch of them leaving the free file. So we could talk about taxes if you want to talk about taxes. If you want to do a follow-up to any of my like country economics ones, like I talked about what was going on with China's housing market, we could talk about Ukraine war and economics. Obviously, I haven't been doing very much reporting on that, but I can do a little bit of it because we are now a year into the Ukrainian war. There is very little that I can talk about with regards to Iran's economy, but I can talk about Turkey's economy if you want. I haven't done like a full live stream on Turkey's economy. I've mentioned it when we're talking about hyperinflation, but I feel like with what they're going through right now from the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria, it might be a good time to talk about how rough it is with Turkey's economy at the moment because of hyperinflation. And we can also talk about how it affects everyday people, but we can also talk about like why this is happening. So yeah. Taxes, info on frontline worker bonus if you have any. I don't know about the frontline worker bonus and I will look into it. I haven't heard about that and I did get certified in taxes this year, so I'm a little confused about it. So I'll look it up. It's not a state thing, is it? This is the perfect impetuous for me to plan my week instead of winging it, so thank you. Great. Awesome. Well, Turkey is really going through it right now. All right, we'll talk either about taxes or Turkey next week. One of the two. One of the two there. And then the week after that, what we are going to be doing is we're probably going to be live budgeting for my Japan trip instead of just me talking about it. Besotten with Cotton says, I bet it was a Minnesota specific thing. It probably is. I can look it up for you, though. I'm happy to talk about it. It definitely wasn't on my federal tax exam, and it wasn't on Oregon or Washington, which I got certified for as well. Washington doesn't have income tax, but yeah. All right, y'all. I want you all to stay safe, stay hydrated, pet a cat if you have one available, and I will see you all next week Sunday, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern, 7:30 GMT. I think we're about to enter the era of time zones getting weird with daylight savings time. And stay safe, stay hydrated. See y'all soon.